Okay. So what I want to do with this video is I want to show you quite clearly what's going on with this website and so that you could do something like it. And I want you to show you the steps that you'd need to take so that you could upload this to um, uh, to the assignment website. And basically, those steps are that you need to make sure everything is properly put into different folders and that your folder structure is then compressed. And then you send the compressed file to me. All right. So this is one that I made. Now, I want you in your assignment to make a website that is unique. So it's not going to have my name in it anywhere unless you, all right. If you, and your table should have a different number of columns. I think we can just have 2 columns or 4 columns, but also have totally unique names and things like that in it so that I know that it's you that did it and that you didn't just copy somebody else's website. Um, right. So everything that you see in this website we looked at yesterday, except the header, which I've got my cursor on at the moment. It says author Mark Floden. That's actually in our header. And down at the bottom of the page, I've got a footer where I have a hyperlink. So I'm going to show you how to do a hyperlink as well today. And the rest of the stuff I've kind of shown you, but let's go through that and look at that quickly now. So I'm going to go into our code. The code for this, I told you we have a header and a footer. Here, actually, something that I should talk about at some point is between the style tags, I've got a lot of styling in there. Really, there's a lot of styling. Look at all that styling. It's almost like a page of styling. And that's not really unusual for a website, web page to have so much styling. One of the things that we can do with our styling is we can create a new file and we can put our styling into that file. And then we can just have a reference link to that style. And that way we can make our we can separate our styling from our HTML code, and that makes it a bit easier to read and fix. The other good thing about putting styling in a separate file is that then you can use that styling on many different pages. All you have to do is put a link to those pages in the style. And I'm going to show you that maybe in the next lesson. I didn't want to put too much on you for that today, but we will take all of this styling and put it into a separate file. I'll show you that later. And then we can make the link for that. So the website itself, I promised you that I'd tell you about some new things. There is a header. It's pretty simple. Make sure that it's inside the body tag. So I put it right at the top inside the body tag, put the header tag in there. Anything that is put in there is going to show up at the header. Now, it wouldn't necessarily show it up centered like this. The reason that it's centered is because I actually styled it to make sure that it did go in the center. And you'll see that here in the styling tags, I put instructions there to align that text to the center for both the header and the footer. Now the footer, as you might imagine, I put down here at the bottom of the code, at the bottom of the page. So just inside the closing body tag, I've got a footer tag. Now this part here, I haven't shown you. That's why I'm recording this so that you can review it later. How do we put in, and this is an A tag. So the A tag opens there and closes there. And then inside that, we've got a special command, which is href. Href will point to a URL. Now, when you point to a URL, make sure you put the full URL. So what I've got here is HTTPS. I guessed that it was an S because there's 2 different protocols for the internet for web pages. One of them is HTTP, which is just standard, I guess you could say, and the S on the end means that it's secured, so that there's some kind of um, uh, encryption going on to that web page, so that when it passes across networks, people can't just grab the web page and grab data out of it. If you have This is just because you guys haven't done much computing. I'll just mention this to you here. If you um, find yourself doing any transactions on the internet which involve some money, and it's on a page which you've never used before, if it involves some money or some private data about you, please make sure when you're doing that that at all times you check. This is not. I don't have a. Let's see. That you check what you're doing, and that the protocol is not just HTTP, but HTTPS. HTTPS, the S on there means that it is, some people say that means secure, but it means that the data in here is being encrypted. And especially if there's any, well, Amazon site, for example, if you went to that, you'd find that it would be definitely encrypted. And your bank's sites, etc. You don't want your private and financial data going onto onto networks unless it's been encrypted. Okay, and so we have end-to-end encrypting. So some of your social media apps that you use also do this a lot. If you're using WhatsApp, one of the things that they promise is that they have end-to-end encryption. Telegram has come up more recently because of things like, oh, I don't know if you guys are interested in this stuff, but you know, the in Langley, Virginia, you have the CIA, and they're governed by a body which is called the NSA. I don't know if you're familiar with them. The NSA has strong interactions with technology groups in the United States. And so the NSA makes them give the people who develop the encryptions, it makes them give the encryption technique to the NSA so that the NSA can break the encryption. Imagine that. Why would they want that? So that your encrypted data, they could see it if they wanted to. What is the NSA? Yeah, well, I don't know. This course is not about the NSA, so you can find out about that at your leisure. So yeah, let's have a look at the code and we'll explain it as we go. Right. So I have explained for you the header. Then I've got these div classes. What a div class does is it separates the web page into sections. And when we say class, that gives us a way of grabbing a hold of a certain amount of the code and doing stuff with it. For example, how we want to style it. So here I've opened a div tag and I've called it demo rev. And what I would do is I would look for where is that div tag closed. I've got a couple other div tags open here, but they will close before. So you'll see first div tag closes. That will be the last one to open. So I've got this one called container, but I got, yeah, this demo content. Oh, hold on. Demo wrap. Yeah. Okay. So am I missing numbers? No, that's fine. So yeah, demo wrap is going to work around my the entire amount, right? I've got an image class DB, which is just for this image, so I can treat that separately, and demo content and and container. And so I look to see where the closing div tags are to see what part of the web page is controlled by whatever we're going to do with that div. Now, how do we get a hold of that div to do things with it? The class name, we use that with our styling. So if we go back into our styling, we'll see each of those divs has a class. And so demo BG was working with the image only. And what that does is demo BG was for our background image, and it centered it in the middle of the page and put a margin left right of 25% because it was 50% of the page. That's how we centered it. The opacity of 0.2, I'm going to actually make that smaller. What about if I went 0.05? We'd see that we could make it extremely faint. So kind of like a watermark almost. I don't know if that might be too faint to see. Let's see. So I save that and look at it. See how faint that goes. Yeah, I like that amount of faintness, right? That's 0.05. That's kind of like watermark territory. I like that. 0.05, way better than the 0.2. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. So here is where we were styling that image, the image of the EPA, what would you call it, icon. And yeah, so we put it in this, we made it take up 50% of the width of the page. We had 25% of the page on the left and 25% of the page on the right. And we did all that with the styling in here. And we made its position absolute. The opacity I just changed, made it much less. And so it's very much watermark territory there. And yeah, I think that's nice. Now, these other ones, we do the position relative and position. So we got that on the demo content. I think we've also, and on the demo wrap. What that does is that's making sure that our image doesn't come out over top of our anything else that we lay on there. If we didn't make that relative, then we'd find that our image would be fading through into these things, and we don't want that. So we made sure that the image stayed in the background, and so we made its position relative, and so that worked out for us. See what else we've got in our website to quickly discuss. Yeah, so I've talked about those uh, containers and classes. Now we've got our ordered list, which I've also made a class so I could style it. And if I look at the ordered list class, this I've styled it the same as my unordered list. And what I've done is inline block and put the text to the left so that it shows up. Though I've centered the entire list, I put its text to the left so it shows up. Otherwise, these things would all be centered in here. And so we put its text to the list so it all lines up to the numbers and the dots. So that worked out pretty nicely. Right, that's our lists. We've got them in there and we've got those styled nicely the way we wanted to. Our table, there's a lot of stuff that we had to do to style the table. Now the table is made up of table rows. Those are TR tags. Between the TR tags, we've got a bunch of either TD for just details, and TH is only for the header, only for the header. Now in one of those, we've included an image. And so that's how we do an image with an image tag. You'll see that there. I can make that smaller just so you can see the whole tag. So the image tag ends at this point here, and it starts here. The SRC stands for the source. The ALT means, well, if the image doesn't show, then put this text on the screen. So yeah, how do we style that? If we go back and look in our styling, which in this case, I put all on the top of the page. So we've got some styling for the image. I gave the image a border, and anything else I gave it, I guess that's it. Yeah, but I did style the table, which the image is inside. So let's look at what we did with the table. With the table, I made it width of 70% so that the table doesn't fill up the whole width of the page. It only takes up 70%. And I've got some by making it 70% and the margins auto, that put it in the center. And we've only got narrow borders for the table. Now I put narrow borders for the table, for the header, and the details. Put a background color for the header. This nth child thing, odd, what that does is for every odd row in the table, it makes the color different. So that way we got striped table that's easier to read. So people like that. And that's kind of about it for that website, I think. unless I look at the probably did I talk to you about the a tag? I don't think I did. So in the footer, I put a hyperlink. And so the hyperlink is in an A tag. The A tag starts here, and there's a close of it there. Then inside there is the full URL. Then I've got the closing A tag there, and in here is going to be the text that's going to be shown with this hyperlink. And that's all happening inside the footer. So how does that work? If it's working, then the text is shown there. If I press on that, it will navigate me to whatever that hyperlink is. So I put that hyperlink to go to the Elite Preparatory Academy website, and that's where it brought me. And so that's hyperlinks. Hyperlinks are very useful. You can have hyperlinks that move you around your website, or you can have hyperlinks that move you to outside websites, which this one did. All right, so last thing, this should be a bit of a review for you. Before you make a website up, you should have so I've got this folder here, which I've called web assignment. Everything to do with this website, I'm putting in this folder. And I'm not just putting it in there loose, I'm putting it in an organized way. So a bit later on, I'm going to put all my CSS and CSS files in this folder. I'm going to put all my images in this folder. If I have any other pages that work with the website, I'm going to put them in this folder. And I'm going to must be this. You keep the index, which is the home page. You keep the index in the root folder of the website. So my website is in this web assignment, and I keep the index there. Just to show you that I'm doing something, that's where I've got my images, in the images folder. Now, when I want to hand this in as an assignment, what I would do is I would navigate to a point where I'm looking at that website, the root folder. And then I would get my menu up. I'm doing that by a right click. And there should be something which says send to a compress to a zip file. There it is. Compress to a zip file. And I just do that. And what happens is you'll see that there's a folder there, but it looks different than the other folders. It's got a zipper across it. This is what you upload as your assignment submission. You just go to the root of your assignment, right? Now, I said right click. I'm hesitating a bit there because maybe somebody's using another device besides a Windows device, in which case you may have a different way of making a compressed folder. But using Windows folder, that's Windows operating system, that's how we would do it. This is the thing that you upload to your assignment. Okay, now I don't need that, so I'm going to delete it. But that's what you would to your assignment. So just in summary, this assignment was to be due tomorrow, but I'm going to give you a quiz tomorrow. If you finish this tomorrow, that's awesome. But I'm giving you until next week to do it because there is a little bit of work there. All right. That's any questions? That's it. I'll put that on